Alrighty, I think we're live for another new Comic Book Weekly. If you guys have been around a couple times, you probably know the drill by now. We're going to be doing some comic book reviews right after we do my comic book pull list for the week. A lot of cool stuff coming out for the week of March 11th, new comic book day. We got 9 things on the pull for a total of $44. So we're going to get into the pull list, and then we're going to get into some comic book reviews just to give you guys a little bit of a taste. We got some Batgirl, we got some DC Vertigo, we got some Absolute stuff with Absolute Flash, the conclusion to Beneath the Trees Nobody Sees, great stuff in Matt Fraction's Batman, more Absolute with Absolute Superman, and then finally the conclusion to DCKO. So we're going to get into all of that and more. The big topic for today, after we do the pull list, after we do the comic book reviews, we're going to be talking about everything on my pull list. So everything on my subscription section on whatever this app is, League of Comic Geeks. I get that question all the time, guys. The app I'm using, League of Comic Geeks, it's the best way to stay organized with your comic book collection. Shout out to everybody who's joining us in the chat. Of course, we've got Nim. Yo, you got to remind me how to say your name, dude. I'm really sorry, but I forgot. Never expected to see you live. Is this a live stream? It is. Kevin B. Kevin B in the chat. Kevin B 4644. You're truly what inspired me getting into comics a year ago. My dream from then has been to be a comic book writer and artist. That's awesome. That's a really cool dream. Good luck to you as you pursue that dream. But yeah, so new comic weekly. Like I'm saying, you guys know the drill by now, hopefully. Let me do this thing real quick. I'll pop out the chat. That way I can make sure I don't miss any of y'all's messages. Okay. Alright. We got the chat popped out. Looks like my sound's going. Looks like the video's going. And yeah, let's get into New Comic Book Weekly. So we start off with the weekly pull list, of course. So we're looking at 9. Oh, wait, hold on. Scrolling down a little bit. We're looking at 9 comic books this week for, of course, March 11th, New Comic Book Day. We have $44, just under that $50 budget. Love to see it. A lot of cool stuff. We got some Absolute Batman, Transformers, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, continuation of the new DC Vertigo title with Bleeding Hearts. Got some great indies this week. Let's start off with Absolute Batman, okay? So that's the big ticket item this week, in my opinion. Of course, you have what's been going on with Batman and Absolute Poison Ivy, but then we get some intrigue over here. Those look like owls, don't they, huh? Right, so Court of Owls, the Absolute Court of Owls, getting introduced into the story. They were teased in the last issue. It's like Martha Wayne has something to do with the Court of Owls. So yeah, pretty cool. And of course we get some more Barbara Gordon. Hopefully she steps up, right? I have a theory. Actually, I think there was something with Absolute Robin came out today. I didn't see it, right? But apparently there's like a first look at Absolute Robin. But my theory before seeing that is that maybe Barbara Gordon becomes Absolute Robin. I don't know. I feel like that could be a cool twist. But yeah, so Absolute Ivy's got tendrils, and they continue to infect Gotham City. After the explosive reveal ending last issue, and the Batman continues to fight Poison Ivy's mutated monsters and winds up uncovering an even more gruesome horror that has embedded itself in the city's very foundations, all while the Joker's machinations start to coalesce in a partnership with a new ally. Oh wow, is Joker teaming up with the Absolute Court of Owls? That would not be good. But yeah, so Scott Snyder, we got Eric Kennett. I think Eric Kennett's got a great look. It's not Nick Dragotta, the main series artist, but I think it's really great stuff. And yeah, so the Seventh Kingdom, the second part of this little Absolute Batman arc. So yeah, before we get into the rest of the pull list, let me jump into the chat real quick. So, we got Paul Dev. Oh, wait, actually, let me scroll up a little bit. Yeah, we got Kevin B saying, I'm so behind on my weekly pulls. Tomorrow, I must catch up. Yeah, you got to stay. That's the tricky part, being a comic fan, obviously. You got to stay up to date, or else you're just buying the stuff and you're never reading them. It's a tough balance, right? But we all figure it out. Codes, even on stream, is super high energy. Thanks, man. I appreciate that. I try to bring the energy, you know, after a long Monday work day. Paul Dev saying TMNT 16 is going to be crazy. Loved last issue. One of the underground hits right now is that TMNT series. Like, I think it's got the juice. It's sauced up like crazy. I think the art's crazy good. And yeah, that series needs a lot more love. Last year, how much did I spend on comics in total? That's a good question. Probably a lot. Probably a lot. More than 1,000, I'm sure. Was that Nick and Dent sale sponsored? No, that one wasn't sponsored. That was just an idea I had. So yeah, the Nick and Dent sale is always pretty good to me. Is TMNT still good? I stopped after Jason Aaron left. Low key, Kevin B. Maybe it got better, bro. Low key. Low key. The art, it's hard to compare to Juan Ferrara, right? But the story beats from Jin Luen Yang, I think, have been pretty interesting. So maybe it got a little better, to be honest. Now that the Turtles are all together, what is your interest we don't know about? That's a good question. I don't know. It's like video games, I guess. I keep most of my video game stuff, unless it's on the Memory Card podcast I do with Lorenzo. Usually I keep my video game stuff to myself. In Mumbai, there are no comic stores. There's 2. That sucks. That's rough. Trollette Eat. I don't know how to say your name. Yo, Cody in chat. Yo, what's up? No one is shouting down. No one doesn't send Western comics. That sucks. Just started Jason Aaron's run. Hope to catch up soon. It's looking great. How has Fantastic Four been? I've been meaning to hop on. Fantastic Four has been great from Ryan North. I've been liking it a lot. Let's continue with the pull list. We got a lot of people in the chat talking about TMNT 16, so let's get into it. It's Yujigami versus Casey Jones with Raphael caught in the middle. The Yujigami has vowed to protect the Turtles from their greatest enemies, so why is he attacking Casey? Meanwhile, Shinigami goes behind Karai's back to make a power play of her own involving a dangerous new ally. The first step in their plan requires blood from a very specific target and in very large amounts. So we know that this character here, that I'm kind of zooming in on, has a mysterious background. I guess I don't want to spoil it if you haven't been reading TMNT, but they're going after and trying to kill all the enemies of the Turtles. For some reason, he's targeting Casey Jones. So what's up with that? I have no idea, but Raphael is caught in the middle trying to stop it. Excellent stuff, man. Continuing Jin Luen Yang and Freddie E. Williams. With Andrew Dollhouse on the colors, I want to give a shout out to Andrew Dollhouse because I really do think that the colors are elevating the read a lot for me. So yeah, great stuff with this TMNT series. Looking forward to that one. Let's talk about Transformers number 30, all right? Because we gotta have a talk, all right? So we gotta have a talk. So I think this starts a new arc. No, it doesn't. This might be the last one before Dan Mora leaves the title. And I think when Dan Mora leaves the title, I'm dropping Transformers. Is that a hot take, guys? Let me know in the chat. Anyone vibing with Transformers, and they don't think I should drop it? Because, man, it's losing me a lot. And as we'll get into in the big topic for today when I talk about everything on my pull list, I think I'm going to replace Transformers with Mask, another series in the Energon universe written by Dan Waters, who I'm a big fan of. So I think I'm going to replace Transformers with Mask. Let me know if that's crazy in the chat. But we're going to be picking up issue 30. We're going to ride out at least this arc while Dan Mora is doing the art. Who will lead the Autobots? It's Optimus Prime versus Elita 1, and the future of the Autobots hangs in the balance. One shall stand, and you know the rest. So Transformers 30 coming out this Wednesday. Not sure how I feel about the series overall. Let me know how you feel about it in the chat. Memory cards are so nostalgic. Yeah, that's what we tried to kind of invoke when we came up with the idea memory card for a video game podcast. Just sort of some of the nostalgic aspects of video games for sure. If one comic could release weekly and not drop in quantity or quality, what would I pick? That's a good question. Maybe Absolute Batman, because then we could get the story moving like crazy. That would actually be crazy cool. If Absolute Batman could go weekly, that'd be crazy. Favorite compact comic? I don't know, man. It's like they just got a lot of great stories. I mean, you can't go wrong with the I don't know. Kingdom Come? You can't go wrong with that one. I just read the Batwoman Elegy and that really surprised me. That one's pretty underrated. Rook Exodus for me to make up for the delays. That'd be cool too if Rook was weekly. If Rook was weekly, that'd be crazy. You think I should drop Transformers? All right. Hey Cody, how's your Monday going? What's up, Chip Crisper? It's my first time making the stream. What book / collected edition am I reading out of the current monthly titles? I'm reading Static right now, the Static DC Finest, and I'm loving it, dude. Static is very cool. It's got the vibes of Ultimate Spider-Man, like the Bendis and the Bagley stuff. It really gives me the vibes of Ultimate Spider-Man. So I would recommend checking out some Static stuff. Yeah, that book is the best collected edition. I pick up Hyde Street. Absolutely love that book. I'm behind on Hyde Street. Love Dan Mora. He's got to stay on the book. Him leaving Transformers so fast is disappointing. Paul Dev, that's what I'm saying, bro. Like, that's what I'm like, okay, so the Dan Mora draw for me isn't even there. I'm not like the biggest Robert Kirkman fan of like his writing. So it's like that draw isn't there for me. I'm not the biggest Transformers fan. Like, I don't know all their names, the Autobots and the Decepticons. So it's like, it's 0 for 3 in terms of like draws for me right now. I don't think the story's really kind of drawing me in. So yeah, I think I'm dropping Transformers. Hate to say it. Which do you enjoy more, Color Break or Memory Card? Both the podcasts I do, I love. Memory Card is for video games. I do that with Lorenzo. And Color Break is the more movie. We talk about comics books as well, but it's more movies and like TV shows and stuff like that. So I love both, and I'm glad that I can fit them both on the channel. Chip Crisper saying, definitely a hot take. Well, I'm all in on Transformers Void Rivals. Excited for a new take on art after Mora's mess of a last issue. I do agree that it was messy. I think we agreed on that. I just got 2 New Frontier and Batman Superman. Those are good DC compacts right there. Vactor in the chat saying Cody is the GOAT. Get these likes up. Listen, I always appreciate a like. Shout out to Kevin B in the chat. Marvel is done for. The Absolute Verse is not stopping anywhere soon. But the Ultimate Verse was rushed as hell. Shame it's ending, but hype for Ultimate Endgame. I agree with that. And with that being said, let's get into back into the pull list for the week. Continuing on with the pull list from March 11th, let's talk about Bleeding Hearts number 2. What an excellent issue number 1. Definitely, probably in the running for issue of the year is Bleeding Hearts number 1. So I'm looking forward to seeing what Dennis Camp, Stepan Morin, and Matt Hollingsworth can do with issue number 2. We know that the concept is a zombie story, but imagine if the main zombie had empathy for humans, right? So he doesn't want to eat humans. He has a heartbeat now, even though he's a zombie. So he's dealing with that. The zombie apocalypse, like you've never seen it, from Dennis Camp, writer of Absolute Martian Manhunter. A world overrun by flesh-eating zombies is the only world young Rabbit has ever known, and her mother, Kara, has done everything she can to get her ready to survive in it, but she never expected to meet a zombie who seemed to want to help her with this goal. So maybe this issue gives us the perspective of the mom and the daughter, right? That we meet at the very end of the last issue. Poke runs up on them, so maybe we'll get their side of the story, and then from there we'll get a super solid kind of scenario for the rest of the series, as Poke and this human are maybe going to be going on sort of like an adventure, I guess, right? So yeah, Bleeding Hearts number 2. Excellent stuff from Dennis Camp and the rest of the team. Very much looking forward to that one. Let's talk about a new number 1, The Exorcism at Buckingham Palace. This is from writer Hannah Rose May. I'm a huge fan of Hannah Rose May. I think she's got really poignant, and her writing has really been impressing me the last couple series, with Rogue's Gallery out of Image, and then The Exorcism at 1600 Penn, which is obviously the White House. I think that was a really fun series with Vanessa Del Rey on the artwork, so it was a really fun horror series. And Hannah Rose May is continuing it with The Exorcism at Buckingham Palace. So over across the sea, another exorcism, kind of like the royal family kind of intrigue there. And even though this one doesn't have Vanessa Del Rey on the art, it's got Kelsey Ramsey. I'm excited to see what Hannah Rose May can bring to another horror series. I think it's been pretty impressive stuff. So we've got it's 5 a.m. at 10 Downing Street. The Prime Minister gets a call that bolts him upright out of bed. The royal family has been lost at sea. Parliament and Buckingham Palace explode with action in the aftermath. Some suspect the prince and his wife, the princess, were attacked. Others whisper their tragedy was the result of a long-standing family curse. Either way, Playboy and recovering addict Theo Belmont is next in line to the throne. Can he step up to the role, or will he be consumed by his demons? So yeah, if you're into horror series, like, look at this, dude. That's the vibes right there. You got the demon right behind the king or whatever. Like, that's what we're going for. So excited for this one to start up. Next up, let's talk about... So I'm not picking up Absolute Green Lantern, right? This is only on the app just so I can be reminded to check out the previous issue when it's out on DC Universe Infinite. That was a series that I dropped around, I don't know, issue 8. Unfortunate. Let's talk about Die Loaded number 5. So I really love Die Loaded. The world of Die is so interesting from Kieran Gillen and Stephanie Hans. One of the most beautiful books on stands is really, really beautiful stuff from Stephanie Hans here. This one says, listen, in Die, there is a realm where there's nothing but islands, and each is a better world. What can be wrong with that? Players can be wrong. So a new kind of area in the world of Die, it seems like we're going to be exploring in this issue. I like the party that they're quickly building, like each issue. The party is getting bigger and bigger, and it just continues to be a really fun world that I'm glad I got to see continue. Like, if you guys haven't read Die yet, it's really one of the hidden gems out of Image Comics. It really is really good stuff. 2 more things to talk about this week. Masterminds number 4. This one's pretty fun. It's kind of like an escape room type of vibe from Zack Kaplan. I'm a big fan of Zack Kaplan's stuff. I think he's a really strong sci-fi writer. This just isn't like my favorite series of his. It's like less of the sci-fi, and it's more of like it's more about the scenario itself. And yeah, it's interesting, but it's not my favorite Zack Kaplan series. But I'm still going to pick it up. I think I really like supporting Zack Kaplan as a writer. And then the last thing we're talking about is High Strangeness. This has artwork from Dave Chisholm. Dave Chisholm is on such a roll lately. He did the Is Ted Okay series, which is a new series out of Mad Cave that I think everybody should be checking out. But Dave also worked on Spectrum. Dave also worked on Plague House, another issue of High Strangeness earlier. And then, yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Like, Dave Chisholm has just been on a really, really hot streak lately. And yeah, continuing it with High Strangeness number 5. It's kind of like an anthology series that focuses on different conspiracy theories, I guess. So, you know, some of them have been about UFOs, some of them about Bigfoot, and yeah. So High Strangeness number 5 is coming out this week as well. But that's going to be it for the weekly comic book pull list. 9 pulls, just under that $50 $50 budget I like to stay under. But yeah, let me know in the comments what you're most excited for. I think my you know, must pick up of the week, it's got to be Bleeding Hearts number 2. And then, of course, Absolute Batman number 18, just to continue that story with the Absolute Court of Owls. Really interesting stuff there from Scott Snyder. So, yeah, that's what we have. Let me know down in the comments what you're excited to read while you're down there. Like if you like, sub if you love. And, yeah, another week of great comic books. All right, so if you're live, you know how this works. That'll be its own YouTube video. But let's jump back into the comments real quick. What are your thoughts on Favorite Things Are Monsters? I haven't read that. Haven't read that one yet. Do you think that Darwyn Cooke is better writer or better artist? Probably Darwyn Cooke is a better artist, unfortunately, because like I'm not the biggest fan of Brave New, what's it called? New Frontier. I'm not the biggest fan of New Frontier. But like when Darwyn Cooke does the Catwoman art, when Ed Brubaker's writing it, right? Like that's some excellent stuff. The adaptation stuff that Darwyn Cooke has worked on, like when Darwyn Cooke's working with like the Spirit type of stuff, or working with Richard Starks Parker, that stuff's pretty cool from Darwyn Cooke. I hate Todd McFarlane's writing personally. That's some people hate Todd McFarlane's writing, you know. I'm not like the biggest fan of it, but I'm not the biggest hater of it either. But yeah, let's continue with weekly comic book reviews, okay? So just to give you guys a quick look, here, let me actually put them in an order. Hold on here. We have some great comic books to review, man, so hold on here. Let me just get everything all situated. Alrighty, okay, so oh man, DCKO? Oh dude, okay, here we go. Can't wait to talk about DCKO number 5. Alrighty, so it's another week of comic book reviews. As you guys can see, a lot of great stuff to go over. We got DCKO, the conclusion. We also have the conclusion to Beneath the Trees Where Nobody Sees. We have some great stuff from the Absolute Universe with Absolute Superman and, of course, Absolute Flash. And we have some DC Vertigo stuff with Nice House by the Sea. We have a great new starts to arcs with Batman and Batgirl as well. So let's just get into it. Let's start off with let's start off with DCKO, alright? So I think that they landed the plane for sure. What a fun issue, what a fun way to conclude this DC event. So we thought that Superman was out of the tournament, but he gets an assist from, what's his name? Time Trapper? Whoever it is, Doomsday, right? So Doomsday, but after like a bunch of iterations of Doomsday, he realizes that his goal in life isn't to fight Superman to the death, it's to assist Superman to allow him to fight Doomsday. So look at this crazy sequence here, dude. Like the art in this finale was incredible stuff all the way throughout. I mean, this is just some of the best, I don't know, like cosmic looking stuff from DC that I've seen in a while. So Superman's back in the tournament and he vaporizes Lex Luthor. Like, get out of here, dude. You thought you won last issue, you're out of here. It's going to be a Superman versus Doomsday throwdown. They fight literally to the beginning of time. They fight until the very beginning of the universe, like to the very Big Bang. And they think that Superman did that, and it's like, oh, he's failing. Superman's like retreating back into the past. Turns out he wanted to do that so he could harness all the power of the Big Bang in order to fight Doomsday. So they're throwing punches, and then instead of winning the tournament, Superman decides to turn his win into a victory for everybody and kind of keep the universe like going as it was, I guess, right? Like it still is maybe imbued with a little bit of Superman energy, but it's not Superman being like the overlord of the universe. He just wants the universe to function exactly kind of how it always was meant to be. And so we got this great 2-page spread, kind of the future of DC. We know that Kyle Rayner and the new kind of era for the Flash is about to start up. Kyle Rayner going to be leading the Green Lanterns, I think. And we got the new Zatanna, new Jonah Hex series, Etrigan the Demon, Firestorm, all the new stuff for DC Next Level. And yeah, really exciting stuff. And then we get a little tease into the future. There's possibly going to be a crisis of absolute proportions. So maybe like an absolute crisis on Infinite Earths or something like that, right? So, or an absolute crisis is coming. And yeah, I guess the DC Universe is going to be preparing for that. So I guess on one hand, I think that they had a satisfying ending with DCKO number 5. But on the other hand, I'm kind of like, I don't know. No one like won the tournament. I do think it was cool that Superman kind of ended it the way that he did. But I guess it's kind of unsatisfying in that they didn't defeat Darkseid. He's still out there. And it's just going to be like another event. It's like, okay, I gotcha. But yeah. There's always got to be some other event on the horizon over at DC, right? But let's talk about Absolute Superman, because issue 17 was super great. As you see on the cover, we get Absolute Parasite in the story. So Absolute Parasite is going crazy all over Metropolis, just taking over people, and it kind of consumes them, and like the body gets bigger. So Parasite is kind of growing exponentially as it captures more and more people. Look at poor Jimmy, dude. Poor Jimmy literally says, "Kill me." Poor Jimmy wants to die, dude. So yeah, Absolute Parasite is going crazy. And Absolute Superman and Absolute Hawkman sort of, they put aside their differences for now and they kind of team up in order to take out this threat. Absolute Hawkman wants to go crazy and just start, destroying the thing. But Absolute Superman is like, hey, we can't kill the people that Absolute Parasite is consuming. They're still alive in there. Maybe we can save them in another way. At the same time, Ra's al Ghul has been broken out of prison by his daughter. So even though he's been sort of reformed and he's like, hey, leave me in prison. Like, I'm actually a bad guy. Just leave me in here. Talia is like, hey, you got to go back in the Lazarus pit, bro. Like, you're Ra's al Ghul. You got to get over this. And so it kind of stinks that Ra's al Ghul is backsliding a little bit, but he's Ra's al Ghul. He's the villain, right? So maybe that's to be expected. But yeah, I think that it was really cool that Superman's solution was to get captured by the Parasite himself, but to battle it in, like, mentally, right? So there's this moment where he saves Absolute Hawkman from being consumed by Parasite, and he tells him, hey, I'm doing this for everybody in the Parasite hive mind as well. What is it? 2,779,000 people. So he's doing this, he's saving everybody all at once by giving them the hope and making them not afraid and saying like, yo, I'm here for you, let's get out of this. And then we get this big explosion as Absolute Parasite has been defeated. Absolute Superman saved the day, man. He saved the day by using his ideals, and I thought that was a really cool moment from Jason Aaron. And the artwork has been insane throughout this issue. It's so good, and we get this great moment with Absolute Superman, kind of like the Christ-like imagery, right? But is he gonna? He's not. He doesn't want to be seen as Christ, but he just is going around saving people. So yeah, we just get a lot of great moments, and he's got this cool moment where he tells Absolute Hawkman, he says, "Hey, I know who you work for. I want you to give them a message. Lazarus and everyone like them." He says, "You tell them I don't sleep and nothing they have can hurt me. Tell them my senses stretch for miles and I'm as strong as the sun. Tell them I'm coming." So Absolute Superman still has that like intensity whenever he needs it. But then at the same time, he's going around just saving everybody in Metropolis. So it's a really kind of full circle moment as the city of Metropolis sees Superman as the hero that we know he is. They kind of fully accept him possibly. And at the same time, man, it sucks about this Lex Luthor. So he's just having like a barbecue in the backyard, and Absolute Brainiac rolls up on him and like kills like everybody in his life. And he says, "Hey, I'll come back later. Hopefully you're more interesting." And this is just like a nice guy Lex Luthor. So I don't know if this is going to drive him to madness and he's going to be a villain. And that's kind of like his villain origin story. I have no idea, man. But another great issue with Absolute Superman. A hidden gem out of the Absolute Universe, man. I feel like people always talk about Absolute Wonder Woman. They talk about Absolute Batman, of course. But Absolute Superman is so solid, man. Anyways, let's jump into the chat real quick. A lot of comments. It's popping off, guys. Really appreciate it. Thanks for joining. If you had the opportunity to join live. What's my least favorite omnibus in the collection? Least favorite? You know, I might. One that I don't like regret buying it, but I kind of regret buying the Green Lantern, Green Arrow, Hard Traveling Heroes omnibus, just because I have not read that material yet. So I feel like I pulled the trigger buying that omnibus like way too early. Like, what if I ended up not liking it? I don't know. But yeah, that one's gonna take me a while to get to. Like, I'm not in a rush to read that at all. I would say that I've kind of got my omnibus collection into a pretty good spot. I mean, you guys can see pretty much everything here. Like, I don't have a super ton of omnibuses. It's kind of interesting. Like, when they come out with a new list, like every month, right, in the solicits, I look through the Marvel omnis and I'm like, nothing here really interests me. Same thing for the DC. Like every now and then, right? Like a good example is like the Zatanna one from Paul Dini. That omnibus, like once that comes out, I'll be picking that one up for sure. But yeah, I would say just in general, like I've kind of backed off of my omnibus a little bit. I've kind of been going harder on the like DC Finest. I've been going harder on like the deluxe editions, right? And maybe more of the indie side of stuff as far as collected editions. But yeah. Hey man, Maddie Holland says, "Hey man, just discovered your channel and was about to watch your reading vlog and saw that I was live, so I thought I'd check you out. Thanks for joining live. Thanks for checking out the live, Maddie Holland." Chip Crisper, "This book was incredible. It's maybe the best event DC has done since Flashpoint." I don't disagree with that at all. Like, as far as an event, all the tie-ins were solid. The actual main story was really solid, and you didn't have to read any of the tie-ins. But if you did, you got a ton of bonus like information and context. And yeah, I think it was just like fun all the way throughout. It brought the hype moments. People on the internet were going crazy every time an issue dropped. I think they nailed it with DCKO. Hopefully they can keep that kind of model going for all the events in the future. What do I think of Zdarsky's opening stuff with Wolverine and Cap leading into Armageddon? It's the only stuff I'm collecting with Marvel right now. I'm excited for Abnett to return to Guardians. I didn't check out the Wolverine series, so I couldn't speak on that, but all the interesting beats in the Cap series, I don't know. I guess I'm too out of it on the Marvel side, so I don't really know what's going on with the event, but I have been reading the Cap series. Edward Warwick. What are your thoughts on DCKO? Yeah, like I was saying, I don't know if you missed what I had just been saying, but I think DCKO was a really solid event. Hopefully DC can kind of match that energy going forward with their in-universe events. Like the one-off events for like Batman or whatever, like those are whatever, but as far as the big events, hopefully they can keep it going with like DCKO did. And yeah, let's keep it going with some more comic book reviews. Let's talk about Batman #7. This one was interesting, man. So we get this little bit that the Joker wants to meet Batman. He wants to talk, and this doctor character that we've been getting to know, Dr. Zeller, I believe. So she has been kind of caring for the Joker in Arkham Tower and thinks that she can reform him or whatever. And so they got the Joker up in this, this cylinder tube thing. He's connected to all these wires, and the Joker speaks like through text with his brain or whatever. And so him and Batman just have this moment. The entire issue is actually just them talking, and they're talking about their past. They're talking about, like, can the Joker really change, or is he just full of shit, right? And we get this great, dude, check this out, man. This is why you gotta pick up physical comics. Look at this 2-page, all right, it's a 4-page spread technically. Like, look at this fold out. Like, this shit's crazy, man. And you got Jorge Jimenez kind of doing like a Jock type of thing. Like, it's getting me kind of Jock vibes. As we find out that the Joker, it really does seem like he remembers everything, but he really does seem like he understands that he is thankful to be contained. So Batman's like really hesitant, like, what is going on with this Joker, man? He is not like the Joker that I have previously known. What is going on here? Some people are calling me. Someone's trying to sell me some stuff. Anyways, forget about that. Yeah, so Dr. Zeller, she's like, hey, you can't listen to this next part, Dr. Zeller. I have to tell Batman something, right? So Joker's got to tell Batman like a secret, and it turns out that Joker, check this out, something's coming for you, Bruce. So Joker knows Batman's identity. Interesting stuff. I'm sure that's been done in the past, all right? So I know some people are online are probably like, Cody, shut up. That's been done before. That's well-tread territory. We don't really care about that. For me, that's like a new type of thing. Like, that kind of throws the dynamic off a little bit. So I'm interested to see kind of how Matt Fraction pulls that thread. Excellent artwork from Jorge Jimenez. Kind of compelling stuff as you're reading. It's just them having a conversation throughout the whole issue, but I thought it was really solid. Let's keep the reviews going with Beneath the Trees Where Nobody Sees, Rite of Spring number 6. Gotta be honest. Might be a hot take. No spoilers here, but I'm not the biggest fan of the way this one ended. I guess the whole point of it was that, maybe she wasn't going to face ramifications, but man, I was like, she is like a really terrible person, bro. And you just see the damage that she's done to everybody in this small town. She lights the whole thing on fire, bro, and she just gets out of Dodge. And it seems like she's still going to be out there. Her presence is still out there. She's still on the run as we get to the end. So I'm like, dang, okay, so I don't know if I like the way this one wrapped up. If I'm not good, I don't know. Patrick Horvath, very surprising. I guess it couldn't have ended any other way, I guess. You know what I mean? Like, as much as I wanted maybe a different ending, that's just the way it always had to end. Samantha is just really resourceful, and she's always going to get out of it, I guess. So, anyways, interesting stuff there. Let's keep it going by talking about Batgirl number 17. Listen, Batgirl now has the power to control blood. Alright, so if I'm the one to break this to you, yeah, she has the power. They kind of throw it as like a curse in this series, right? Like, she woke up one day. It's kind of related to her lineage, like her heritage in the past or whatever, the blood gang or whatever. So yeah, she's been cursed. She now has the power to control blood. So she's got to get her brother and this character we met in the previous arc to kind of help her out. She's supposed to go on a sort of like a dinner celebration with the rest of the Bat family, but she's got to take care of this blood thing first, right? So yeah, they're going on a mission. They're going to invade this. There's this corporation that is related to the Blood Syndicate as well. So Wu Corp Tower. So it's kind of just them going in. But I would say, dude, the artwork in this, it's right back up to where I expect it to be from Miyazawa. Excellent stuff. As you guys are seeing, it's kind of Cassandra Cain learning to get a hang of these blood powers, I guess, right? And yeah, it's pretty, it makes the fighting sequences kind of more interesting as we get stuff like this. Like, I always love, I think they call this a DeLuca effect. Always love that. Just really cool stuff, man, as we get a really action-packed issue from Tate Bromble and Miyazawa. And I think that this series is potentially right back up to where I kind of wanted it to be after that first arc. Not like as good, but I think we can get there with the Curse of the Blood arc. So yeah, pretty cool stuff there with issue number 17. Nice House by the Sea, dude. Wow. Issue 7 was excellent. Issue 8 just kind of keeps it going, right? So we know that the Nice House by the Sea, they're all attacking the people on the Nice House by the lake. So this isn't going to make sense if you haven't been reading the series. But yeah, just excellent stuff as we see that the Nice House on the lake people, they are not prepared for what's coming at them. But look at this stuff, man. From Alvaro Martinez Bueno and Jordi Belair, like the kind of body horror, it really is like some of the craziest artwork I've seen in comics lately. And it's really, really cool stuff. And yeah, it's kind of hard to explain what's going on in the series. But we just get this clash of both houses in this issue. Like, it's finally kind of coming to a head. And just look at this, like, body horror. Like, this dude's got, like, 7 arms or something. It's just nasty looking, man. And then we get crazy, crazy stuff like this. Like, all the swirly, like, particles. Like, what am I looking at, dude? So, yeah, just crazy stuff in this series. I really recommend checking out Nice House by the Sea. If you're into kind of like slow burns, series that are really like the characters are kind of more of the draw and kind of why you're reading it. Like, you're kind of seeing how all these characters kind of interact with each other as they are just all together at the end of the world. I think it's pretty great, inventive stuff from James Tynion IV and the rest of the team. And then finally, for a last comic book review this week, let's talk about Absolute Flash number 12. So this is the final issue to the second arc. And man, if you guys have dropped Absolute Flash, might be time to add it back on, man. I'm not going to lie. This was like a complete full circle. Like, everything I could have wanted in this series finally all coming together as we get this showdown between... this is Thawne, by the way. This is how he looks in this universe. So he's broken out of the Still Force or whatever, and Wally West and him are going to have to throw down. At the same time, we get Gorilla Grodd just trying to find his dad or whatever. So they finally get reconnected as Gorilla Grodd finds him deep in the labs of this, whatever, like military bunker. And yeah, we get some great moments of this stuff, dude. I'm not going to lie. This had me in tears, bro. This honestly had me in tears as we see... Because, like, the whole series, it's been, like, the struggle between dad and son. Like, they don't really get each other, and there's been this like, tenseness between them. And this is finally just cracking it as we see, like, you know, the dad is just super proud of Wally. He's just saying, like, yo, I saw you. You were incredible, son. And, yeah, just get some really good heart-to-heart moments. But it can't last as we see that this Thawne guy, he's not down for the count. He wants to... He wants to fight Wally again, so they go off. And yeah, we just get some great like Flash, speedy, kind of running through sequences, and like the electric effects are really cool from Nick Robles and the rest of the art team. And yeah, dude, I really think that the fact that the Rogues come to Wally's aid, and the Rogues are actually kind of more, they have more dimensions in this series as opposed to maybe the main continuity, as they're kind of helping Wally West. They're kind of, you know, like villains in a sense, but they're kind of like anti-heroes, right? And then we get this moment where Wally's dad is the one to throw Thawne back into the Still Force, and then we get like, dang, Wally's alone again, bro. He's alone again, and right now he doesn't even have Gorilla Grodd, man. He just goes on the run, running even away from the Rogues, and he actually goes back to that shelter that he went back to, or that he kind of visited in a couple issues ago. And so that was a really cool moment, seeing that, like, even though Wally thought he was alone, he's still going to have this community, and potentially, like, he's at the Dibney mission, and he's going to be meeting, what's Wally West's wife name? Let me know in the chat. What's Wally West's wife's name, dude? I forgot. But anyways, we met her earlier in a couple issues, so hopefully Wally West and her can kind of get something going, you know, a little romance, a little teenage romance, that could be cool. And we see this moment here, dude, as Gorilla Grodd, the dad goes, all men pay. So I hope that this dad doesn't bring Gorilla Grodd down the dark path, man. Because we know that this Gorilla Grodd, the dad, was experimented on by humans, right? So he's got some hard feelings against humans, I guess you could say, right? So it's going to turn into, like, I don't know, like Planet of the Apes up in here, man. So, yeah, pretty interesting stuff as we see that little tidbit on Gorilla Grodd. We'll have to see how it expands. But listen, man, Jeff Lemire, he's really surprising me with the Absolute Flash series. the draws are still there. Like I was into the Wally West character. I'm into this Gorilla Grodd kind of relationship that they have, but even more so, I'm into kind of where we can go from here. So I really think that the first 12 issues, they finally got me. Like I'm in for sure now, and I think that it's a underrated series out of the Absolute Universe for sure. But that's what we have for comic book reviews. Hopefully you guys enjoyed a lot of great stuff, man. I mean, we got two just excellent stuff. And we got two absolutes. We got the conclusion DCKO and the conclusion to Beneath the Trees Nobody Sees. We have some great new starts with Batgirl and Batman. And yeah, some more Vertigo stuff with Nice House by the Sea. Just an excellent week for comic books. Hopefully you guys enjoyed these reads if you happen to pick them up. And let me know which one was your favorite down in the comments. And of course, like if you like, sub if you love. And if you really like it, you can hype it. I always appreciate it. Another great week for comic books. Alrighty. Like I was saying, if you're live, you know how this works. That's going to be a video on its own. But let's get back into the chat real quick. Before we get into our big topic for today, every single comic book on the pull list. I've done that before. I try to do it at the start of the year. So it's been a little bit, and I kind of want to update you guys on some new changes to the pull list. And we're going to go into what I'm dropping as well as the new series that I've recently added. So we're going to get into it here in a sec. Paul Dev says Absolute Flash has been great. Knowing Jeff Lemire, I think his dad will be dead once Wally West finds him, and it will be so sad. Man, that's really heartbreaking because they finally had that moment of reconciliation, and it's like, damn, they didn't get to just sit in it for a while, you know what I mean? So Wally West is still kind of like this lost teenager. I really feel for him, man. So yeah. Marcus Longioni says, did I see Comic Pals nearly hated the Absolute Flash? That's upsetting. Sean, let me know. Marcus Longioni, is Sean over there at the Comic Pals, right? He hates Absolute Flash. I'll have to confront him next time we're on a near mint condition panel together. I'll have to ask him about that because Jeff Lemire loves his heartbreaking stories. Absolutely, yeah. That's why Paul Dev, the fact that Jeff Lemire is doing the Pa Kent and the Uncle Ben crossover story. Like, bro, get out of here, bro. We're going to be crying all over the place, man. Edward Warwick says, Iris, bro. That sounds right. Because I was like, oh, his daughter's name is like Irie, right? So now I'm like, because I haven't been reading The Flash in a while. I dropped off a Simon Spurrier's run. I'm picking it back up once, who's taking it over? Who's taking over The Flash? Who's taking over The Flash coming up, guys? Let me know in the chat. I forgot. We're about to talk about it in the big topic, but if someone could let me know, I'd appreciate it. Dude, if we never see Grodd again and Wally's a duo, I'm going to be so pissed. I know, dude. Like, Wally's got to save Gorilla Grodd from his evil dad, man. That's what's got to happen. Some fire emojis from Edward. Yeah, man, I think Sean was hating Marcus Longioni. Ryan North, that's right. So yeah, Ryan North taking over The Flash. That's some big time stuff, dude. I'm excited about that. So yeah, I'll remember the names again. You know what I'm saying? I was reading Jeremy Adams' run and I was loving it, but I fell off of Simon Spurrier's. Alrighty, let's get into the big topic for today. Let me make sure it's up here ready on the second screen. Alrighty, got it pulled up. Okay. Let's get into every single comic book on my pull list. I did this video a couple weeks ago. Maybe it was a couple months ago at this point. But I want to update you guys because there has been some changes. We'll get into it, what I'm dropping and what I'm adding on the comic book pull list. The app that we're using is League of Comic Geeks, alright? So I get this question all the time. This is the best way to organize your comic book collection and see what is upcoming. They don't pay me to say this. I just use this app like every single day, man. Yeah, so we have 66 subscriptions on the pull list. And let's get into it. I think it does it alphabetically. But let's do it like this. Alright, so of course, we got to start with the Absolute series. It starts with A. It's alphabetical, alright? I don't make the rules. First one up is Absolute Batman. Of course, we're continuing it. We got the intrigue with the Absolute Court of Owls. They're kind of picking on that thread of the Martha and kind of what her relationship is to the Court of Owls. We got that tease to Absolute Robin. So yeah, of course we're picking up Absolute Batman. That's got to stay on the pull list for sure. Absolute Catwoman. That one is a recent ad. We know that Scott Snyder and Che Grayson are coming in to write this with Bengal on the art. Love Bengal stuff and Napalm Lullaby. So Absolute Catwoman is a new series that's going on the pull list. Little 6-issue miniseries out of the Absolute Universe. Very excited about that. That comes out on June 10th. So we got a long wait for that, man. I guess it's March, so it's not that long of a wait. But yeah, Absolute Catwoman, #1. We're looking forward to that. Absolute Flash. Listen, the next issue with issue 13 is going to start a new arc. This could be the perfect time for you guys to jump on. If you haven't been reading Absolute Flash, I've honestly been thinking it's probably the most underrated series in the Absolute Universe right now. I really do think with issue 12, they really landed the plane. Like that first 12 issues is just a great, if you have the opportunity to binge read it, especially, maybe as a month-to-month read, it was like dang, you kind of wish Jeff Lemire would pick it up a little bit. But once they started moving, once they had momentum, past like issue 8, like issue 8 onward was so good. And I'm looking forward to seeing what they can do with the rest of the series. So Jeff Lemire's still writing it. We're going to be picking up Absolute Flash for sure, dude. Very much into that one. We got Absolute Green Arrow, of course, too. So with the announcement of Absolute Catwoman, we also have Absolute Green Arrow. This one's coming out before Absolute Catwoman. This one's on May 20th. And we know that it's going to be Ollie, not in the mask. Like, who is this Green Arrow? We don't know yet because Ollie has been killed by the evil people in the Absolute Universe. So who's behind this mask? Is it Roy Harper, right? Like, what's going on? We have to see. And is it going to be Black Canary is the one who is trying to track down this killer? And yeah, got that cat and mouse game going on. We got some great creatives coming in to do this series, and I'm looking forward to that. Absolute Green Arrow. Moving on, we got Absolute Green Lantern. It's not on my pull list, guys. I think we're officially dropping it. We're unsubscribing here in the video. Absolute Green Lantern, see you later. We'll keep up with that on DC Universe Infinite. Absolute Martian Manhunter, of course, we're continuing that. Dennis Camp, Javier Rodriguez's excellent, mind-bending, trippy series. And John Jones has been split up with the Martian, but hopefully they can get back together and get their arms around this mess, dude. So yeah, we're looking forward to the finale in May, and we're looking forward to seeing what Dennis Camp and Javier Rodriguez do after this series. Are they taking up the Doom Patrol series? That's my dream come true would be that. But yeah, Absolute Martian Manhunter, excellent stuff. Continuing that for sure. Absolute Superman. Of course we're going to be getting Absolute Superman. All this stuff with Absolute Parasite's really cool. We get this intrigue of Absolute Shazam coming up. We know that Absolute Brainiac's going weird, killing all of Lex Luthor's family at the barbecue grill. So yeah, man, I'm into what Jason Aaron has going on here. It looks like Juan Ferrara. Oh wait, actually, let's see, with the Shazam stuff, it's Rafa Sandoval coming back on. So that's fine. I'm fine with that. I like Rafa stuff. And listen, if you ever want to get Juan Ferrara to come back, I'm not mad at that at all. I think Juan Ferrara has a great look. So yeah, Absolute Superman continues to be great. And of course, we're getting Absolute Wonder Woman. More greatness stuff, more greatness there from Kelly Thompson and the rest of the team. All this stuff with the Absolute Suicide Squad was really interesting. Absolute Zatanna is really interesting as well. Yeah, so I'm looking forward to seeing the end of this arc and what the rest of the team can do as we look forward to that. So that's all the Absolute titles. So right now we got 8. Well, I guess technically we got 7 if you minus Absolute Green Lantern. Adventures of Superman, Book of El. We're continuing that because it's Philip Kennedy Johnson as he closes out his, kind of his last word on DC stuff. His last word on the Superman timeline, his Superman work. The kind of Warworld saga has been going for so long, and this is kind of the conclusion of that, so I'm looking forward to that. Assorted Christ Events is my favorite anthology book on stands. It looks like they potentially, so they're taking a break in March, they're coming back in April, and there's nothing solicited after that. We know that this is an ongoing, though, so it's probably maybe a little bit of a hiatus, potentially, or something like that. But yeah, man, Assorted Christ Events, what Dennis Camp and Eric Zawadzki are doing in that series is just incredible stuff. Batgirl, we're loving. Tate Brombal is maybe potentially right back up to that first arc that I really loved. I was highly rating that first arc. So now that Cassandra Cain has the power to control blood, all right, man, I'm into that. So hopefully they can keep that one going. Real quickly in the chat, we got Paul Dev saying Absolute Green Arrow looks insane, can't wait. That is, I'm trying to think if that's like, it's going to be a 6-issue mini, I guess. So I'm trying not to get like my hopes up. I wonder how it'll tie into the rest of the Absolute Universe. That's like my biggest question for that one. Edward Warwick says, yeah, my boy, needs some Absolute Shazam in my life. I'm interested into like how they switched up the classic Shazam kind of lore for the Absolute Universe. That could be pretty cool. Alrighty. Continuing on with the pull list. This Batman series, dude, this is the Hush 2 stuff, so I'm going to drop that. We're dropping that. We're unsubscribing, guys. I don't care about Hush 2. I don't care about Hush 2 at all. But of course, the Matt Fraction Batman series, we're going to be picking that up. I've been loving Matt Fraction and Jorge Menez. I think that it's got this really classic feel to it, where every issue has like continuation from the previous, but every issue can kind of go in and it's its own story. And it's kind of cool how Matt Fraction is kind of pacing out the series. It's been a real fun month-to-month read with Batman. So yeah, going to continue that for sure. Batman Green Arrow, The Question Arcadia, that's just a little 4-issue mini, so that'll be over before you know it. It looks like they got a little bit of a... so the next issue coming out in May, so a little bit of a break on that one. This is cool. A new DC Next Level series with Batwoman. I love Kate Kane. I think she's so badass. I just read... Actually, I'm sitting next to it right now. Got the Batwoman Elegy that I read in last month. Ended up loving it a lot. So Greg Rucka coming back to the Batwoman character. I'm totally in for that, man. So this one is definitely an add to the pool. We got Renee Montoya coming back in, dude. My favorite, like a top 5 character out of DC. So I'm looking forward to that one. Batwoman, that's going to be fun. Owen Oracle says, I love Hush, and with how everyone talks about it makes me wary of touching it. With Hush 2, it's like, I just like don't give a shit, bro. Like you know what the big problem is, Owen Oracle? It's not even that I like dislike the series or whatever, like the actual contents of it. It's just like, bro, miss me with all the delays. Why would you even like if you don't have like 3 issues ready yet, why would you even release issue 1, bro? Like I don't care anymore. It's been a year since the last one came out. Like you're asking a lot of your audience to stick with you for that long. It's like, dude, I'll just catch it in a trade if I'm really that interested, instead of picking up it in singles. That's like my big problem with that series. Let's keep it going though. We got a DC Black Label series, I think. This says DC Limited. Is it DC Black Label? It's not a DC Black Label. Huh. Bizarro Year None. So this is going to be a sort of like a Bizarro Year 1 sort of story, but it's written by it's written by Kevin Smith. So this is kind of interesting. Kevin Smith coming back into writing comics in a big way recently. He's got some Jay and Silent Bob stuff. He did that crossover for Green Arrow and Daredevil in the Deadpool Batman crossover, I believe. So yeah, Kevin Smith doing a Bizarro series. Cool. I'm in for that. And Bizarro Year 1 coming out on April 1st. Black Tower, The Raven Conspiracy. This is a DC Vertigo series from Ram V. Mike Perkins. It's all about wizard spies in World War II. Okay? I'm not going to say anything else, man. I'm just in. That's sick. Mike Perkins on the art, Ram V on the writing. Wizard spies in World War II. I'm in. Sounds good to me, dude. Bleeding Hearts. Loving it. Loving what Dennis Camp and Stepan Warren are doing with this one. Imagine if there was a zombie who had empathy and didn't want to eat humans. And he's turning more into a human himself. I've been loving it, man. That's a great kind of the twist on the classic zombie formula. So yeah, Bleeding Hearts, we're keeping that one going for sure. Captain America is the first Marvel series on the pull list that we're talking about, man. Chip Zdarsky is really just surprised. Well, it's not surprising that he's good at writing Captain America. It's amazing to me, I guess is how I would put it. Like every issue, like look at that first arc, dude. All the 4.5s out of 5. Like excellent stuff. And he's just keeping it going, even though we have a different art for the second art. We have a different artist for the second arc. I still think it's got the same kind of vibe, right? So they're continuing it. It's just been excellent stuff, man. As Captain America has gone back into Latveria to kind of finish what he started from back in the day with dealing with Doom for the first time. Diloaded, continuing this fun Kieran Gillen and Stephanie Hans written series. Looks like the first arc is about to wrap up after issue number 6, and hopefully they can continue it going for a really long time. I'm hoping Diloaded at least gets like 18 issues. Like, that would be so sick. To give Kieran Gillen and Stephanie Hans the room to fully explore the world of Die, because not that I wouldn't want them to come back to it if they have a good idea for it, but yeah, I just want them to fully like explore the world. I think it's just so cool. So Diloaded, looking forward to that. Daredevil is another Marvel series that we're looking forward to. So that was going to be written by Stephanie Phillips, who's been killing it recently, writing a ton of stuff over at Marvel with art from Lee Garbett, man. So looking forward to this Daredevil series when it starts up in April. Deathstroke the Terminator. This one, I'm picking up the first 3, all right? So I'm not like 100% sold. It doesn't have a permanent spot on the pull list. Deathstroke the Terminator, we'll see how you do when it comes out. I think it's next week. So we'll feel it out on that one. End of Life has not disappointed me, but I'm just not the biggest fan of the main character. So if the main character really has to kind of turn it around, he has to have some character growth pretty quickly, or else I'm gonna get a little tired of his shenanigans, I guess you could say. Escape, dude. Rick Remender and Daniel Acuna, issue after issue, it's just excellent stuff. It looks like they're taking a little bit of a hiatus again as we see the next issues coming out in May, but listen, I'm here for it. Take all the time you need, Daniel Acuna. Take all the time you need, man. It's the most beautiful book on stands. Look how many 5 issues they got. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then a 4.5. And then the last issue I gave it 4, but honestly, I could give it a 4.5. You ask me tomorrow, dude, I'd give that a 4.5. So yeah, Escape, excellent stuff. Exquisite Corpses. We know that Exquisite Corpses is getting a second season, they're calling it. I think that Exquisite Corpses number 13 looks like it has a... Who are we going to find out? Who's on the cover? Is this the person who's going to be winning the whole tournament? But yeah, so Exquisite Corpses, I've been loving it. Kind of a slasher sort of series. It's just fun stuff. Like, it's not my favorite James Tynion series of all time. I think it started probably better than it is right now. Maybe a little bit long in the tooth. Like, you're kind of maybe wanting it to wrap up in issue 12, but it looks like they're going for issue 13. I guess you go for issue 13 just for the number. Like, they like the number 13. It's a whole thing, right? It's a tournament style, and they kill like one person every issue, so I get why they kind of want to stretch it out a little bit. But Fantastic Four, more great stuff from Ryan North and the rest of the team. Are we still getting Humberto Ramos? Not Humberto Ramos. That's okay, though. 10 issues, man, and hopefully Humberto comes back. I think he's got a great look for Fantastic Four. It's really fun stuff there. And yeah, Fantastic Four. Like, all this stuff with the alternate version of Sue Storm, like, I'm into what's going on there. Real quick, we got to answer some questions in the chat. Oh yeah, way to kill the hype if there was one. Sorry about that. Paul Dev saying, do I think that Flynn from Escape could still be alive? The last time we saw him was being parachuted out of a plane in number 1. I feel like it would be random for us not to know by the end. That's a cool bit. Yeah, like it could be like his buddy he meets out in the field or something like that. Yeah, I could see that. It could be cool. Oh yeah, I heard good things about Exquisite Corpses. It's fun stuff, dude. If you're into slashers, it's like a battle royale tournament of a bunch of killers, and the last one alive wins the whole thing. And it's focused on the killers, but it's also focused on the civilians who are kind of caught in the crossfire. And it takes place in a small town in Maine. So that I live in Maine, right? So it's kind of like if I drive like 10 minutes down the street, I'd probably be in the town from Exquisite Corpses. So it's kind of fun in that respect too. But yeah, let's keep it going with the comic book pull list. G.I. Joe. Oh man, are we getting like a Duke and Optimus Prime meetup? That's sick, dude. Alright, I didn't know that was happening, but that's pretty cool. From Josh Williamson and the rest of the team in the G.I. Joe series. It's been my favorite part of the Energon universe. And I love all the members of the G.I. Joe going up against the Cobras. The Destro is doing his thing. You got the Cobras teaming up with the Dreadnoks, right? And we got some spies that are trying to lead the G.I. Joes. Like, Duke and the rest of the people don't know that he's actually a bad guy. A lot of cool stuff going on in the G.I. Joe series. I love it. Geiger, the last couple issues, like maybe the last issue I wasn't the biggest fan of. Just the fact that Geiger's away from his main crew, like he's away from Nate the Nuclear Knight, he's away from Zigzag the Zebra. He's still got Barney, which is cool, but you know, that kind of draw of the rest of the supporting cast, we don't know too much about what's going on with them as Geiger's going on this little side mission with the Northerner. And yeah, I'm not a biggest Northerner fan. I don't know too much about him. High Strangeness is about to finish, so we won't talk about that. If Destruction Be Our Lot, this is a new series from Matthew Rosenberg, coming hot off of, what was it called? We're Taking Everyone Down With Us. Dude, I love that series, so anything Matthew Rosenberg has got going on, I'm down for. This one's coming out on May 6th. Humanity's extinct. All that remains are the robots who once helped us. The robots who once helped us are happier now, doing their work without human interference. But not Abe. He believes there must be something out there. After nearly getting killed, he's determined to wander the earth until he finds it or gets recycled trying. Brilliant artist Andy McDonald and adequate writers Mark Elijah Rosenberg and Matthew Rosenberg bring you an ongoing sci-fi adventure about finding purpose, holding on to hope, and really lonely robots. So that sounds interesting. A world that used to have humans and robots, but now it just has robots. And you got this guy named Abe, this robot named Abe, who's going on a little sci-fi adventure. I'm down for that, man. So If Destruction Be Our Lot is definitely added to the pull list. Just like In Your Skin. This is from, I know, Adyitka Bidikar as a comic book artist, but it looks like he's trying out his writing side of things, right? So he's writing this series. I think it's a horror series. Body horror meets erotic fiction in Adyitka Bidikar's debut series with Sam on the art. I really love Sam's stuff in the series Crocodile Black. So this one I'm really looking forward to seeing Adyitka's writing debut with the art from Sam. That's going to be cool. Is Ted Okay is going to be a really great series when everything's said and done from Dave Chisholm. Really excited about that one. I think issue number 1 was off to a great start. Maybe single issue of the year so far. Great stuff. Justice League Unlimited, we're going to keep it going. We're hoping that they can get back to the first kind of arc where I thought it was really fun. Kind of felt like the TV show that kind of lost me a little bit. Doing all these throw-ins with the crossover events and stuff, but hopefully they can get back to what I loved in that first arc. Lobo, same thing with Deathstroke. We're picking up the first 3. We're going to feel it out, see how we feel about it. Mask. This series I'm adding to the pull list because it's part of the Energon universe. Dan Waters is writing it, and we're dropping Transformers. This is replacing Transformers, dude. So we're looking forward to checking out Mask. I'm not I don't know what's going on with Mask from back in the day. I wasn't a Mask kid or whatever. But I know that it's an acronym that stands for Mobile Armored Strike Command. Command with a K. So Mask, we're checking that one out when it comes out in June. Mastermind's about to end. New Titans is a kind of a rebrand of the Titans series. This is going to be Tate Brombel and Sammy Basri jumping onto it. I really love that creative team. I think that's a great pairing. Tate Brombel's been killing it recently, and Sammy Basri had some really great stuff in the Birds of Prey title. So it's really cool seeing Sammy Basri's look for all the Titans coming in. And I'm really excited to check this one out. The Nightwing series is having a sort of like a little relaunch as we see Dennis Cohen, legendary artist Dennis Cohen, who I just caught all of Dennis Cohen's stuff in the Question Omnibus. Dennis Cohen has an excellent look, and we'll have to see how it works for Nightwing, but I'm assuming it's going to be cool. So Dennis Cohen coming in to join Dan Waters on the Nightwing title with number 136, so that's going to be on the pull list for sure. Odin is a new series from James Tynion IV. It's Green Room meets Midsommar, and it's going to be a horror series with artwork from Margaret Bennett. And it's got some kind of like neo-Nazi punks in the frozen forests of Norway. There's this investigative journalist who is trying to look into them and try to investigate what these neo-Nazis are doing in the woods. They're trying to summon Odin, and it gets into kind of the horror kind of realm, right? So looking forward to seeing what James Tynion IV is doing in his newest horror series called Odin. Of the Earth is the new series from Chris Condon. Chris Condon is having a really, really hot streak, and this is his newest series from Image Comics. Tabitha is a woman desperate to escape her troubled past. She returns to Solitude, Texas, seeking refuge in the only place that once felt safe, her grandmother's home. So yeah, it's got Chris Condon and art from Charlie Adler, which I really enjoyed Charlie Adler's stuff in Damn Them All, I think. Damn Them All. I think Charlie Adler did the art for that. I'm trying to look at my trade paperback over there, but it's too far away. But yeah, so Charlie Adler's got cool art style mixing with Chris Condon's writing. I'm looking forward to, I was going to say, right, Chris Condon going back to Texas, as he did in That Texas Blood and the Enfield Gang Massacre. So getting back into the Texas crime and noir kind of vibe. I'm always down for that. Only the Savages Are Left, a new series from Zach Kaplan. This one's interesting. It's a strange virus that's spreading across the world, transforming everybody into monsters. The only cure is to kill another infected soul. When a nonviolent young man sets out from the safety of a settlement to find his missing true love, he must find the corrupted world of monsters and monster killers. A dramatic survival adventure that dares to ask what we should stand for in the monster apocalypse. So yeah, another post-apocalyptic story. I like the vibe of just a cover, right? So gives you that kind of Last of Us vibes, but going up against huge monsters and Zach Kaplan writing. Always love supporting Zach Kaplan stuff, man. So out of Dark Horse Comics, that one comes out in June. Looking forward to that. Rook Exodus, of course. I mean, there's a lot of delays, of course, with the Rook Exodus series, but you're in for the delays, man. If you're reading Rook, you guys know how epic it is. Yeah, we're excited about Rook all the time, man. So looking forward to Rook. Catching up with a chat really quick. Of the Earth, I can't wait for that series. I'm meeting Charlie Adler this weekend and can't wait to ask him about it. Hell yeah, dude, that's sick. So yeah, congrats on that. Have fun talking to Charlie Adler. Lord of the Rings Empire 69 says, I'm so freaking hyped for New Titans. Yeah, man, listen, New Titans, like if they can bring the vibe of, ever since I've been reading comics, I've wanted a Teen Titans series that's like mine, you know what I mean? And I don't think Titans from Tom Taylor and who was at the start? Maybe it was Bruno Redondo, I forget. But that series like never kind of clicked for me, that Titan series. So hopefully, and like I know the answer is just to read the classic stuff. Like I have a Teen Titans omnibus, you can see it like right there. Like I have the classic Jeff Johns Teen Titans. Like I have the ability to read the classic stuff, but I want a modern Teen Titans series that like is mine. You know what I mean? So hopefully this Tate Bromble and Sammy Basri stuff can be that. Kevin B says Green Room meets Midsommar is a wild example to use. If you know, you know. Yeah, dude, absolutely. Midsommar, especially, like if you can bring that Midsommar vibe to a comic, James Tynion, what can't you do? You know what I'm saying? But yeah, let's keep it going. The pull list. It's getting a little long in the tooth. I didn't mean for it to go this long, but I think we're almost done. So yeah, let's keep it going. Skinbreaker. I might drop Skinbreaker, man. I think it's gonna end with issue 8. Is that going to be the end, the action-packed conclusion? We'll keep it going just to complete it, but Skinbreaker has been really disappointing, man. Not going to lie. Great on the art, but Robert Kirkman writing. Superman's cool. We're going to be keeping going with Superman as we're getting into the dawn of the Superboys, or the reign of the Superboys. The next era for the Superman title. Because Superman is, like, cosmically in the metaverse or whatever, Superman's gone. Like, Superman is like, hey, I got to take care of something. So Lois Lane and the rest of the members of the DC Universe are like, okay, I guess we'll catch up with Superman later. But we got the reign of the Superboys coming in, so that should be pretty cool. We got Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, man. Really surprising stuff after Jin Lewin Yang took over the title. I didn't know I'd like it as much as I do, but possibly better than the Jason Aaron stuff. Just because, like it wasn't bad what Jason Aaron was doing, but like the fact that the Turtles were all split up, right? And it took a little bit for it to like get going. But now that the Turtles are all together, it's like finally like, okay, dude, it's the Ninja Turtles, bro. Like we're rocking. It's giving me lots of the vibes of the shows that I used to like when I was a kid. So yeah, I would say the Ninja Turtles stuff, man. You guys got to jump on. That's some really good stuff. City Beneath Their Feet, Distillery, rest in peace. I don't know what's going on with that. The Dead Man. I'm looking forward to The Dead Man. The same creative team as Ice Cream Man, dude. So you know this one's going to be real wacky. W. Maxwell Prince. W. Maxwell Prince, Martin Morazzo, and Chris O'Halloran bringing us some wacky Dead Man content there. Excited for that one. That one might be my most anticipated out of the Next Level stuff besides the Batwoman series. Exorcism at 1600 Penn. Sorry, that was the previous series. This one's called The Exorcism at Buckingham Palace. I'm a fan of Hannah Rose May. We got another exorcism. I like the horror kind of vibes from her. So, yeah, down for that one. The Flash series that we know that Ryan North is coming in. Shout out to the chat for reminding me. So Ryan North coming in. Excellent stuff. We know Ryan North has that family writing he's excellent at. Gavin Goudry is coming in on the art. And yeah, the new era for the Speedster starts there, and I'm looking forward to that. Fury of the Firestorm, right? So this is a Jeff Lemire series. That's why I'm picking it up. And I'm picking it up because he's so excited about it. You can tell that Jeff Lemire loves the Firestorm character. I don't know anything about the Firestorm character, really. So I'm going to pick it up just because I'm curious about it. We don't know if it's going to stay on the pull list for a long time, but I'm at least going to pick up like the first 3 just to see what Jeff Lemire is doing with that character. The Lucky Devils, I'm going to drop the Lucky Devils like right now, bro. I'm not going to drop it right now because I'll drop it right now. I gotta remember to let my shop know. It's such a weird, I don't know, man. It's whatever. Maybe I'll keep it because it's almost over. This is the stupid part about being a comic fan. Is if it's going to end at 9 and you're on 7, maybe you just keep it going. We'll figure it out. Anyways, Nice House by the Sea. Looking forward to seeing how that one concludes. Is it going to be number 10? No, it's got to conclude with number 12, right? I think it'll conclude with number 12. But Nice House by the Sea, just an excellent issue from James Tynion and Alvaro Martinez Bueno with Jordi Belair on the colors. I love the characters in that story and kind of how everything's moving. Peril of the Brutal Dark and Ezra Kane Mystery. Crime and noir stuff from Chris Kahn and Jacob Phillips. Of course, I'm adding that one to the pull list or keeping it on the pull list. The Ultimates. We're looking to see how the Ultimates can close out. I'm just tired of the Ultimate Universe, bro. Like, just end it. Stop delaying it. Just end it. Ultimate Spider-Man's over. Just end it, guys. Same thing with the Ultimate Endgame. I don't really care. I thought the last issue was pretty weak. And I don't really give a shit how the Ultimate Universe ends, to be honest with you. Transformers. We're dropping Transformers, bro. I'm swapping it out with Mask. Let me know down in the comments if I'm an insane person, but I'm just not feeling Transformers anymore. Especially when Dan Moore is hopping off the title. You don't have the draw for me to keep pulling that one. Ultimate Impact Reborn. I'm so full of shit because I'm picking this up. I'm picking this up, though, because Chris Condon's writing it. I'm a fan of Chris Condon. I want to see what he's doing over in the Marvel Universe because it seems like Chris Condon is sort of backing away from DC. Like, he still has the DC Vertigo title, right? But he's kind of leaning towards the Marvel side. Seeing all the success with Ultimate Wolverine, that's a real highlight of the Ultimate Universe. So seeing Chris Condon continue his work over at Marvel is pretty cool. And you got a Miles thing, and like I like the Spider-Man, the Incursion series was pretty good. Out of the, what was it called? Ultimate Endgame. No, it's called Ultimate Spider-Man Incursion. It's actually pretty solid. So anyways, we'll keep that going just to see kind of how they continue with the Ultimate Universe, or if it has any sort of legacy. We'll just see. Ultimate Wolverine, we're going to ride this one out till it finishes. Universal Monsters Phantom of the Opera. Dude, I loved issue 1. I think Tyler Boss has a real knack for the slasher writing. I think the artwork from Martin Simmons might be some of his best work, honestly. Like, Department of Truth has some cool stuff. The Dracula series had a lot of beautiful panels and stuff, but Phantom of the Opera was, like, stunning. So, yeah, Phantom of the Opera, keeping that one going. Great stuff out of the Universal Monsters. Real quickly, jumping in the chat. Kevin B says Skinbreaker's art is great, but the story is so mediocre. That's how I feel about it, too. Edika83 says, I love their Superman miniseries. Which one? Oh, the Kryptonite Spectrum. Yes, Kryptonite Spectrum was badass. Ultimate Impact Reborn is such an awful title, though. Who came up with that? It has got to be the worst title of the year. It's got to be. There's some pretty bad titles out there, but Ultimate Impact Reborn is terrible. Nice House by the Sea had a long break. I lost interest. I'll never forgive DC for canceling his Green Arrow. Listen, I don't blame you for a long break kind of making you drop the series. I guess for that one, I would say it's a long break because they were getting ready for DC Vertigo to kind of start up again. So that one I give a pass, but I get it if you're dropping it. I would say maybe collect it and like when it's out in a collected edition, maybe come back to it. But yeah, I don't blame you on that. And then yeah, canceling Green Arrow, the biggest sin of all time. If I ever meet Jim Lee, I'm gonna ask him about that. Like, yo, what was going on with that decision, man? And yeah, Kryptonite Spectrum, nice. All right, continuing on with the pull list, we're at the very end here. We got Wonder Woman. Continuing with Wonder Woman, new story arc starting up. We got the Wonder War, right? So potentially this might be the last arc for Tom King and Daniel St. Pierre. We'll ride it out. We'll see if like they get a new team on it. That could be cool. Zatanna, dude, we're loving Zatanna, man. We're loving Zatanna. The fact that Zatanna is getting her own series from Jamal Campbell, writing, drawing, doing the coloring, excellent stuff. So yeah, Zatanna, that's gonna be a real fun series at a DC Next Level. We got Bug Wars on here because when Bug Wars comes back, man, we're gonna be all over it. DCKO just ended, so I guess I'll unsubscribe from that so it doesn't clog up the Saga's on a hiatus. That stays on the pull list, but it's like whenever it comes back, it's whatever. The Power Fantasy, they say that it's over, but it's actually not. We know that the series is coming back for sure, even if it's going to be a while. And then Ultimate Spider-Man, another one that's over. So we'll unsubscribe from that. So yeah, with that being said, this is the pull list, man. So great stuff out of the Absolute Universe. We got some great indies like A Sword Christ events. And then mostly it's DC, all right, guys? So we got Batman. We got some upcoming series like Batwoman. We got some DC Vertigo. Only Marvel really is kind of Captain America, Daredevil. I think technically Iron Man's on the pull list, but it's not on here. I got to add that to... I think I manually pulled it, like the first couple issues, but I didn't subscribe to it yet. But Iron Man has been pretty fun. That might stay on. Yeah, man. That's kind of the pull list. I even went into some stuff that I'm dropping. But yeah, a lot of cool comics upcoming. And let's see that final number. 62, right? So ideally, I'd want to be around like the 50 mark, right? But what can you say when so many cool comic books are coming out? And yeah, you kind of just want to pull them all, man. It's kind of hard to keep it under control. But that's what I'm pulling, man. Let me know down in the comments what you are pulling. Like, what's your top 5 you gotta pull them series? Especially if none of my picks made your picks. I definitely want to know what I'm missing. So definitely let me know in the comments. And while you're down there, like if you like, sub if you love. This is, of course, something that I plan on doing all the time. I like letting you guys know what's on my pull list and keeping you guys up to date. So yeah, thank you guys for watching, and read more comics. Alrighty, so you guys watching live, you know the drill. That'll be its own video. I say that every time, but yeah, really appreciate you guys rocking with me for another new comic book weekly. Went a little bit longer than I usually go, but I had a great conversation, man, with you guys, the audience. We went over this week's pull list. We went over this week's comic book reviews, and we did the big topic talking about the subscriptions. So for those that don't know, New Comic Book Weekly is something that I do every single Monday at 4 p.m. Eastern. We go over the pull list, we go over the comic book reviews, and then we do a big topic that I don't even know what we do. Like, I don't even know what the big topic is before we start recording. I decide on it like an hour before. But yeah, so join me every single Monday at 4 p.m. for New Comic Weekly. And yeah, thank you guys for watching, and read more comics. Alright, so that's the outro. I really appreciate you guys joining me live. Kevin B says, do I like Wonder Woman? I know some people hate that series. I think that they stepped it up a lot recently. Like the Mouseman arc. I think the Mouseman arc was really sick. Paul Dev, thanks for joining, of course. Catch you later, Paul. Thanks for joining me for the live. Lord of the Rings Empire. I'm going to be canceled for saying this, but I prefer Constantine over Zatanna. I'm not mad at that. I think Constantine's cool too, you know what I'm saying? I just like that Zatanna is getting a lot of love from DC. I have a video that I'm planning recently, planning probably this week. Something like DC Comics is in their Zatanna era or something like that. Just because I think they've been getting a lot of love to Zatanna recently, and I think it's pretty cool. How much do I spend average a week on comics? I try to stay around $50. I know that's like a lot. Like some people can't manage that as their budget. I'm very fortunate that the YouTube kind of provides me like a cushion, and it kind of covers my weekly comics. So yeah, shout out to everybody who supports on the YouTube. And then the last comment from Chip Crisper, top 5 pulls in no particular order: Void Rivals, Superman, Batman World's Finest, Batman the main title, Absolute Batman, Absolute Superman, Absolute Wonder Woman. That's a great pull list. Not mad at that at all. Those absolutes are great picks. I fell off of World's Finest. Matt Fraction's Batman run has been insanely good. That's a great list right there. But yeah, with that being said, thank you guys for joining for another Comic Book Weekly. Every single Monday at 4 p.m. I'll be live talking just like we did today. So yeah, thanks for joining live. Really appreciate it. I'll catch you guys in